Am I the a-hole? I had a fight with my ex over her affair child. Our son picked it up and is now rejecting his half-brother. I, 38 male, had a fight with my ex-wife, 41 female, about her child Sam, 7 male, and need an opinion from outside. We have one son together, Jake, 9 meters. Sam is not mine. Our divorce was caused by my wife's infidelity, and I told up front to ex as she was pregnant, I will never take any responsibility for Sam, not emotionally or financially. However, I have figured my emotion out and got them in order to protect my son Jake. That includes I accept Sam as his little half-brother and allow him on special events to visit me and Jake. Our custody agreement is clear. Every second weekend Jake visits his mom. So my son had his birthday last month where I allowed Sam and ex to visit and celebrate with us. It wasn't something big because of the global situation, just about 15 people, Jake friends and some family members. Sam loves to mimic Jake, and as he saw him calling me dad, he started to call me dad too. I have spoken with him calmly that I don't want to be called dad by him, but he is allowed to call me by my name. As he had asked why, I explained that he is not my child and I am not his dad. Also, he asked me who his father is and I respond that I don't know. He then run to my ex and asked who his father is. My ex sent him to me to ask. I just told him that his mom doesn't know it either, but I am not his dad and again he should call me by my name. However, on this day, nothing happened anymore. Even I notice my ex try to move on me. I just ignored it. The problem is Sam has told it also his school friends as the class have played a game where they talked out their family. I had to say here some children are pure evil. Some of Sam's classmates have started to bullying him as a bastard and worse, my ex called me about it, told her that she has to fight over this with Sam's teacher and the other kids' parents, but it is not my problem. She then started to yell at me on the phone that it is my fault, called me some names. I respond that I have noticed what she tried at Jake's birthday party and this problem wouldn't exist if she could keep her legs closed for other man and told her she should try to find Sam's actual father if she wanted a man to take care of her son. Ex involved our parents in this fight. Now my mom is nagging me over this and sides with ex. However, I was not gently with her either as she called me. Here is why I might be an my son have picked up this whole mess and is now mean to his little brother and rejects to play with him and teases him as well. I am actually have made a terming on a therapist to solve this, but I don't think I can solve it on my own. Am I the a-hole here? This family lawyer here. One of the hardest things to tackle is separating the very deep and profound hurt you feel from bleeding out. Your NTA. But based on what you wrote, you've done a few things that are tactless and hurtful. You don't have to be called dad by Sam. But understand he's a really young child who didn't cause your pain. Messing with his relationship with his brother isn't fair to him or his brother, your actual bio child. He's also looking for a father because, well, kids need them, not men specifically, but that general role. Think of it this way, imagine that Sam is your stepchild. He doesn't have to call you dad. And you don't have to raise him. But would you have said or done the same thing too with Sam if he wasn't the embodiment of hurt to you? Maybe. But most of us know he's a kid who has needs. And as a father to a son already, you should be keenly aware of this. And Sam and your bios, that's why I can never get behind the NTA judgments. Being a dick to a kid who is not the embodiment of your pain and trauma, but who you treat as such, is a dick move. I'm also not a fan of the phrase, if you could have kept your legs closed, because I don't think people should use classically misogynistic language even against women who have hurt them, but apparently, if someone's a cheater, they deserve it. Stomy, esh. Unfortunately has to be bigger person around his ex. That's hard, I get it. But it's absolutely no excuse to treat a child poorly or use bigoted language. Like, get a grip, op.edit, got banned because I said op was a D in another, now deleted, comment. Can't respond to any more comments for 30. Yeah, but the phrase is still gross. Rubbed me the wrong way too. Honestly, I was surprised at all the NTAs in this judgment. I feel like this is 100% a esh situation. Think about it. They're both weaponizing a child because of some bullshit drama that happened 8 years ago. Hurting a child, or in this case, being a bystander, while op's son hurts a child, is fucked up. And I don't care if this never would have happened if ex hadn't spread her legs. The fact is both kids need to be kept out of this bullshit. The fact of the matter is that Jake and Sam's relationship has been shattered because of the meddling of toxic parents. And that goes for both parents. 10 Bucks says that all the therapy in the world isn't going to fix the brothers' friendship, and that's a goddamn tragedy. Yeah, this is what I don't get from some comments. I agree that Op doesn't have to allow Sam to call him dad, but I don't see anywhere where Op treated Sam poorly. He calmly told Sam, without raising his voice, to not call him dad, but that he can call him by his name. And when Sam asked why, Op told him, "I don't know who your dad is," and then redirected Sam to ask his mother, which is who he should have been asking these questions to anyway since she's his mother. As for Op's bio son picking up on the tension, Op has even said he has tried his best to avoid his feelings towards his son's mother from interfering with his son's childhood. It wasn't intentional, and Op has shown clearly that he does not think it is appropriate for his son to treat his brother like that, and is even going to therapy for that. What I saw wrong was the way Op talked to his ex-wife. I feel like he's really not telling the whole story about how he acts and treats both X and Sam. The mother is an absolute selfish entitled horror show, but the idea that he lets her and Sam come to Jake's day when Jake still has two parents and has a half-sibling relationship with Sam, as well as the quickness with which he resorted to the gross comment about keeping her legs closed, suggests to me that he's really painting himself in an unrealistically positive light and he hasn't gotten his emotions in order. The ex was gross to tell Sam to go ask him and is invariably the worst actor in this whole situation, but I have a feeling that the sorts of comments he makes about the ex are probably pretty often. I literally said she's the worst actor here and was totally in the wrong and acknowledged her betrayal of trust. Like I said, I feel for Op, but that's an enormously crass way to say it, and that he resorted to such a comment pretty much immediately suggests he likely says similar things, often likely in front of or within earshot of Jake, who is picking up on the way that he feels about the ex and Sam. This sub constantly will come down on women that poison kids against their ex after a breakup or divorce. The same holds true for a man, even when the divorce is the fault of the woman. She's still Jake's mother, and a healthy co-parenting relationship should involve them both agreeing on how they address the breakup and its reasons with him. That doesn't mean that they should lie, but saying that mom did something that hurt dad, and while she's very sorry it hurt dad too much, so while they both still love Jake, mom and Sam, who isn't dad's son, are going to live somewhere else instead. Telling a literal child this young that his mom couldn't keep her legs closed is just gross and immature behavior fueled by emotional anger and not what's best for Jake. That's completely ridiculous on her part, not only to cheat, but to expect you to accept her affair baby with open arms is very entitled. Yikes. In any case, NTA. You sound like a great dad to Jake, and you're very cordial to Sam, who is in any case innocent of his mom's tomfoolery. I wouldn't worry too much about Jake's comments about Sam. Kids love gossiping, so I think Jake is just enjoying flexing around new words like bastard without realizing that they're hurtful. I think if you calmly explain to Jake that his words are hurting Sam, he would understand and stop. Also, Jake might be a little sick of Sam. Not because of you, just a lot of older siblings are sick of their younger siblings, when they follow them around and repeat what they say. I got annoyed with my little sister because she kept copying what I said and trying to hang out with me, but now we're good friends. That's not something you really need therapy for, just normal growing pains between siblings. NTA, I feel real bad for Sam, but he's not your kid, and this whole problem came up because your ex dropped the ball. She should have tried to find out who the boy's father is, as Sam deserves to know. She shouldn't have tried to pass the buck onto you. It's selfish and irresponsible. As Sam gets older, her problem is only going to get bigger. He should know who his father is. Good on you for scheduling therapy for Jake. Also try to talk to Jake to let him know it's not Sam's fault and that you don't hate Sam. Jake might be acting that way to protect you if he saw your mom and his mom are ganging up on you. He might have mistaken their behavior as it being poor Sam's fault. Do your best, Op, to support the relationship between Jake and Sam so they don't end up losing their sibling bond. You might have to include Sam in the therapy sessions at some point. I feel so bad for poor Sam. Your ex really needs to do better by him. Even if the bio dad wants nothing to do with him, Sam deserves to know where he came from.